Hi everybody, how you guys doing? Just gonna turn down the... What's that square? Maybe it's gonna disappear in a few seconds. It's gone. Thank you. This is probably from another stream where I play around with thing. Hi everybody, how was your week? How was your week last week, and how was your weekend? I hope you had some amazing show. I hope you had some amazing time mixing with your console. Good morning for those of you who wake up. Good evening to those of you who go to sleep. I'm just trying to get my stuff together this morning. Actually, hold on. Not true. This morning I had the pleasure to do a hour consultation with a gentleman called David. Is it David? Dennis in London. He had a hard time with his wing in his church, and I give him some help. If you ever need that kind of one-to-one help, I'm available over the rate of $25 USD an hour if you need to have access to that setup in your favorite Zoom or Facebook call, or I'm not gonna say FaceTime because I'm having a hard time with FaceTime right now, broadcasting the camera over FaceTime. So, with that out of the way, we can start with a question. I had an early question today from Craig. My question are over here, like you pretty much have on your screen. Question are over here. Craig says, "Good day, friend." Good day, Craig. Nice to see you around again. It's not your first time around here. On my USB player, I've converted some WAV file from 48K... No, some WAV file to 48K on a FAT32 formatted 32 gig drive. I would say 32 gigabit, not gigabyte. I've learned the difference the hard way in a couple videos ago. Somebody correct me with the difference of between gigabit and gigabyte. Consoles play files sometime and freeze the drive sometime. Yeah, I had that happen to me before. I've tried 16 and 24-bit and multiple USB drive with the same result. Oh, okay. The only format that I have is a recorded file in real time and a recorder and play time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jonathan and Jonathan. To Jonathan today. Hold on. I'm going to read you guys. I'm just going to finish with this one. Is your console USB drive stable with converted 48K file? I would say I did it only once using the flash drive to play back audio, and it was fine. I was about to say I suspect your USB drive is the problem here, but if you tried many... Have you tried a USB 2.0 and 3.0 key here? But personally, my file play fine. I had a problem with a certain USB key back in the day. We're talking about April of 2020 when I just had the console. One of my USB key was freezing the console. To make a long story short, I tried to ship it to Music Tribe so they can investigate what was wrong with that USB key, and DHL lost it pretty much a day after it left Canada, so they never had the key. They could not fix that problem. But I don't know what to say here. It should be playing. Another option would be to use the SD card if it's a workaround for you if you have a problem with your USB with the USB port on top of the console. Other than that, if it's not the USB key, because you tried many, if your file is converting fine, so I would suggest you 48K 16. One other option could be to turn your console down to 41K. If that fixed the problem, then maybe it's the file conversion. Although it's a, I would need to investigate a little bit. You can record and playback using the console with no issue. So it's just when you convert file. I would say maybe the conversion here. Because if you had a problem with the physical interface of the USB, it would not play file. It will not play the file correctly, and it would not record correctly. I had the bug this weekend. This Friday, I was on a show, and I tried to record the show with a USB key, and it was not working correctly. I'm missing about 10 minutes over an hour and a half of just buffering and cutting. It's a single file, but I'm missing some spot in there. So I'm gonna guess the file conversion. Other than that, it's a trial and error. I don't know. I never had any problem with converted file. Actually, I had a problem recording one, which is not your case. Who knows? Maybe I think I used a USB 2. It's one of those, those key that they just end out to everyone at every event. I'll be honest with you. The key that I had was a leftover from a client from an event. When I'm a local tech, they bring me video and playback and stuff to play. They give me the key and they get drunk and they leave without that key. It happened to me a lot. I have I have a lot of leftover USB key. But seriously, I think it will be a case per case scenario here. What is your file conversion software, Craig, if I should ask? I'm gonna move on to the other question while you answer me to this one. First, I'm gonna say to Jonathan Vo, today's my 15th birthday. Congratulations on making it so far. Happy birthday, and I hope you have a wing and you enjoy it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is why you're here. Jonathan Lang, yo, what's up, bro? Have you tried playback from Logic to Wing? Yes, I did. I seem to only get left and right from Logic to Wing channel 1 and 2. Can't figure out how to map all the channels correctly. I can answer to you this one. Inside of Logic, because this is something that I do on a show. The show that I did last Friday, we have 13 track coming from the laptop, and it's coming from a Logic session. In every single output of your track, you have to assign a USB output that corresponds to the channel you want to be playback in your wing. And on the wing itself, you need to tell you need to say to the console that the source of every channel is coming from the USB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up there. And again, in Logic, you need to output your different track to different output. If you output all your track to 1 and 2, that's just a stereo bus main out. And inside your DAW, it's fine. You don't want that. You want multi-track. So you want to have all these individual track. In Logic, I know you right-click on output. If you have your mono track, you need to go all the way down in output mono, and it will be there. Good luck with that, Jonathan. NCH switch from sound format converter plus. Okay. My experience was with NCH. The company is a company that make my compatibility software. I don't have a good time with them, so I would say ditch them. Just load your file into your DAW of choice. If it's Logic, if it's Cubase or Reaper, and you can select the export format to be 48K. I would say NCH is pretty much a non-professional audio company, so I would say go inside your DAW. I know it's a pain to convert all those files one by one. Put it in your DAW, convert it, to the right format that you want to use. I would suggest you 48K 16-bit. You don't need 24. It's not going to change much here. And export that onto your USB and make a playlist like that. That should fix the problem, I think. I'm going to doubt here the converter is the problem here, not the USB. From Jonathan. Oh, that makes sense. I think so. Now, so basically the same way you map the input, do the same with the output. Exactly. You map the output from your file, your multi-track, you wanted it to be out of your DAW over multi-track. So you map that out and you map it back in on the console. What's up, Pancho? Good to see you around, man. Thanks for the tips. I only use them for the intro music, so not a ton of file. Yeah. That way, at least you will have a reputable conversion from a reputable audio software. That would be my opinion. Do that whatever you want, but this is the way I would go to convert my file, just so at least I know the algorithm used to convert them is not going to be buggy, and you can load it back into your DAW, listen to it, make sure that the file is not buggy, and having it that way. This is what I would try. From Michael, hey, thanks for your help. You're welcome, Michael. Do you know if when playing back a W Live card file, if you can solo subgroup, DCA, or anything but channel? It seemed to be only able to solo channel back to the main. To the main? Do you have a solo in place? If so, I don't know if solo in place will enable you to have control over that. But the console, when you are in W playback, what I would call virtual sound check, it should be the same as if your band was playing in real time and the source were set to ASABU or local. The console would not know the difference. So if it's not working with the W Live playback, it should not work with the W Live, without the W Live, so being in regular input. Maybe I suspect here solo in place. Solo in place will be, let me switch you here. Solo in place is in setting here, I believe. No, this is talkback. Where is solo in place? Is it in setup? Hold on, setup, audio, solo in place. Try to switch that from live or studio and see if your track are working or not from there. I would try to switch that to studio or live, Michael. Yes, it's all in place, but only sent to monitor. Sometimes we want to listen back to the recording and solo specific session. It doesn't work. It should. So I'm gonna guess it's a solo option because it's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing from if your band is playing back or you play back from the track. The console do not know the difference. If it's not working one way, it should not work the other way too. So be on the lookout for that. The solo in place, I think, will be the way. The live versus studio versus solo in place is probably where we have a bug here. Also, be careful of the DCA as a monitor listen level. I don't know how to speak English today. You have the option in your DCA if you name back a DCA monitor. I have a video covering that from way back when that came out with firmware 1.11, I think. If you name one of your DCA monitor or mon level, something along those lines. Sorry, I never touched that since the firmware released. You can set that DCA to be another layer of control for your level after your volume. that could impact also what you are listening to. Just be careful with that, especially Michael. Just be careful with that. I hope it's probably doesn't apply to most people because you probably never done that, but just be careful. Let me look at the console and see if we have something like that. The DCA or the MUN level. Hold on. I want to do it just for fun. We're gonna take DCA 16. Here view, and I'm gonna call it. I think it's MUN LVL rename. Yes. There you go. Now, can you see on my console? If I got this DCA up, it control my solo. Because right now in solo, I have my main out and I'm soloing back my background music from the console. This is why you see the solo flashing. If I take it off, I'm only hearing my voice, not the background music. So for me to be in the same mood as you, hearing the background music, I'm listening to that. But even then, if I take that out and I turn down that DCA that now says MUN level, I'm not hearing anything in my headphone again. So maybe that's a problem. If you're having problem with your solo and your PFL monitor level, get rid of that. I think the way to get rid of it will be just to rename that DCA nothing or DCA DCS 16. There you go. Yes. And it doesn't affect the SPL or the solo level anymore. I'm using solo in place. When I hit solo from the bus or subgroup, it worked. It worked for the monitor, but not for the main PA. I realize you wouldn't really want to do this, but it should work. No, it should work. It should work. You should be able to listen to a DCA like you're listening to a bus or anything. It worked. I've done it before over a headphone, but I know in your file, Michael, you have a monitor level like I did. Try to get rid of that because you're probably not using it. Try to get rid of that and see if it fixed the problem or not. Because for those of you who don't know, I also did a session this week with Michael about his huge setup and his huge studio. If you are interested in discover what people can do with the Wing, I invite you to go over his channel and take a look at his setup. It's really beautiful. Seriously, I thought I was cool with my background and my camera, and he's got like 10 times the space and the full equipment stuff. So go take a look at his stuff. That would that can give you some idea on how to expand your personal setup. Any other question for today? We've been going at this for a couple minutes, but I'm more than willing to take any of your other question while I'm telling you about some. Sorry guys. I'm not gonna go into any kind of story question. Was there ever been talk about having a user library for preset channel EQ? Not that I'm aware of, but I want to know. Are you guys interested in some kind of library preset? This is something that I've been debating on if I should build some preset that you can load from the library in channel if you want to have channel preset, some effect preset. Now I have a couple from, actually those can all go away. I'm not using those at all. But I was debating if I should build some preset like routing preset for I don't know, DAW something. I don't know. I'm still debating with that. I don't. The thing is, I don't think it's a good option it's a good thing that I would show or I would tell to people how to do sound. Because, yes, I can tell you all day long that you need to put a low cut on your vocal and you need to compress it and EQ it. But since I'm not in your room and I don't know the source, I could build some really good preset for me with my microphone, the one that I know that I'm using all the time, but it would not translate well to the mic that you have with the source that you have in your PA. So this is why I'm debating a lot if I should do some kind of preset. I could do my own preset for my own mic and share it to you, but let me give you an example. Since I'm not using SM58 for vocal, should I do a preset for the Bayer V56? Because this is mostly the mic that I'm using for vocal now for a couple of years. Not a lot of you are using that microphone live in your church venue touring setup. Would that relate? Would that be helpful? Or I'm just gonna build myself some, library that I'm probably never gonna use because I just plug something in, EQ it quick, and run with it. So I'm debating here. Michael, you can get around by muting all the other channel, but not soloing the channel you are interested in. This is a really good, this is a really interesting workaround, but it should. I don't know why it doesn't. I'm gonna load your file and double check that. Craig, yes, you do want some preset. Good. I'll take note of that. If anybody else is interested in that in the chat, let me know. Or if you're watching this in playback, make sure to leave a comment below telling me that you are, because I don't want to sell them. That's one thing. If I ever do some preset, of course, I'm gonna put my PayPal if you want to send me a couple bucks. That will be greatly appreciated. But I'm gonna give them out for free, for sure. I don't think they will worth anything other than just being an example because what I just said. So let me know. From Ozzy, hey, when you get a chance, can you please walk me through how you set up DAW in Reaper? I think we had that conversation over some of my video, Ozzy, but I can show you the console side. This is what I do if I want to change the DAW on my console. Right now it's set up for Logic, but I'm gonna go here in Setup, DAW, Logic. We would like to change that for Reaper. Oop, not Cubase, Reaper. Press load. Right now it's set up as a full console. I'm gonna go load as a single MCU. It did not, but whatever, you get the ID. Press load, and if on my console I press DAW, all my faders and stuff just change. The console is in DAW mode. Now, inside of Reaper, you need to go, it's been a long time, but you need to go into preference at the end, totally at the end of the preference, you have control surface, and you need to add a Mackie MCU controller plus 2 extender. That would be the way to go. After that, how to exactly add that in Reaper, and if this thing has changed since the last time I've used Reaper on version 5 point something, I would suggest you to look at a video specially made for integrating a control surface in Reaper. Because I cannot go over every single DAW on Mac and on PC and show that to everybody. I'm sorry. It would be way too time consuming, and there's already video out there explaining you how to add a control surface to every single DAW. I'm pretty sure. If there's no video on how to add a Mackie MCU controller to Reaper, tell me, I'll do it. But pretty sure it's already there and it's already existing. I believe we did a Rabbit. It's not working. Can do virtual sound check from Reaper from the Wing, but usually using DAW functionality from Wing doesn't seem to work. It's two different things. I think I told you that also. In Reaper, DAW control and audio interface stuff is two different things. It running the same cable. It's running in the same USB, but see the console as many things. This is a audio interface that control the physical audio interface, the physical I/O that you have in the back. This is a computer that has microphone preamp built in, and this can be switched. The interface can be switched from controlling the computer inside here or your computer. This is like a DAW recording. This is real-time processing of of audio from a computer with a control surface. See it that way. This is what a console is in 2022. So just be aware that it's two different things. You need to, once you set the console to talk to a certain DAW, you need to tell that DAW that you have a Mackie control emulation on the other side, and you need to also tell the DAW that this is going to be your sound interface. If it's not, you have to tell the DAW you have another sound interface. So just be on the lookout for all those stuff. It's not plug and play. It's not, the console doesn't have a Reaper mode, but where it's just taking over Reaper. You need to tell Reaper to use the console to do whatever you want to do with it. Good luck, Ozzy. Multi-band events. Do several gig when I'm flipping bands all day with no sound check. This is what you do with your Wing, huh? Okay, interesting. But we could tweak this setting and resave. This is what I do usually on the festival situation. I'm just building myself a basic template, and usually I start from the band before. If it's okay. On a festival situation where I have many band in one day, my secret is to use the same input all the time. What I mean is I'm building myself too big of a show. If I'm doing heavy metal band, I'm going to go 2 bass drum, 2 snare, probably no snare bottom in a festival situation, but 2 snare hi-hat, 4 tom, 2 small tom, 2 floor toms. I'm going to go 3 overhead, or maybe just 2. I'm going to go 2 bass line, 1 DI, 1 mic. I'm going to go 4 guitar line, SM57, 421, 57, 421. 2 acoustic DI, 5 vocals, 6 vocal, already done and pre-EQ'd. And I'm only going to use the channel strip that the band that is on stage are using. Meaning, if the drum only has 1 kick drum, I'm going to use 1 kick drum. If he only has 1 snare, I'm going to use 1 snare. He has 1 rack tom, 2 floor tom, the middle one simply not being used. And this is what I do. This is what I call a festival mode patch. We have enough channel on the Wing for that. I'm getting, also ready some keyboard stereo pair, 4 keyboard stereo pair with DI, with some gain already. So usually it goes really fast once you start to treat it like an analog desk. Like an analog desk in the sense of having a lot of input in front of you or just scrolling per page. And bring back everything to DCA. I'm keeping the same effect all the time, the same, my vocal all goes in the reverb already. Once I've built my file like that, it could end up being 48 physical input, but you're never going to use them all of the time. If you put them into DCA, and if you pre-prepare your track and just change the instrument on the other side of the mic, because of course you're keeping the same mic all the time, let's go quick, man. You can do like really, really quick sound check, like 5 minute done. Oh, you usually do that? Well, this is a way to go. Michael, it would be nice to have preset. The only thing I see that has preset is the VSS reverb. But it'd be cool if compressor, limiter, and effects had them. I can see why EQ may be an issue. Yeah. Well, I think... Okay, you guys kind of want that? I think I'm going to build myself some channel preset. Meaning, my favorite compressor, my favorite EQ, my favorite gate where needed. I'm going to throw them out in the world and see how well they live their life. But I think I'm going to do full on channel strip instead of just EQ. I'm going to go full on channel strip, and I'm going to do a video about them, explaining what they are, and not just throw them out and say, load that and see what happened. That will be on the list of things I want to do. I have so much video that I want to do with the console. I need... okay, I'm feeling sorry to a gentleman. I'm forgetting his name. Is it David or Thomas, or probably none of both? Adam, I think in Sweden, record some drums for me to do how to record with the wing. He did them back in January, and we are March 21st, and I'm still not able to take some times, load this file on the SD card, play it back, and start the how to record with the DAW with the wing. This is a video that I want to work on. It just takes so much time and so much prep work to do. I'm sorry, Adam. I didn't forget your file. I'm just busy. Today I did a one-on-one session. I'm doing this live stream. After that, I have some stuff that I need to take care in the house. Tomorrow I'm gonna mix a really strange thing for me. I'm a heavy metal guy, but I'm not huge into black metal. And tomorrow I'll be house crew for the band Mayhem and another black metal band called Midnight, I think. I know I'm doing monitor for Midnight. I don't know. I may or may not do monitor for Mayhem. And that will be my full day. I'm starting at 11 o'clock in the morning and probably gonna get out of there around 1 or 2 in the morning. After that Wednesday morning, I'm in the church. I'm doing X32 live X32 lesson in a church. Hi, Adam. I'm sorry. And after that, the week goes on. I have to finish a permanent install of microphone in another venue, and the weekend goes on. I got 2 shows, and the week after that, I'm filming a 6 TV show in 4 days, plus some other stuff. This is how my weeks are going. I've been busy to the point where I'm about to needing some vacation again, and I've been here for a month and a half, and I think I will need a week really soon. So please bear with me, guys. I'm doing the best I can, especially especially because I want to spend some time doing video on the wing and video on YouTube about this thing that I love, and I love doing YouTube video. It's just that I like to do them well, and it needs more and more preparation. I don't know if you noticed in the recent video, but I spend way more time in post-production, way more time tweaking the camera, doing some B-roll. It's time consuming. A video takes me like a couple hour, sometimes 6 to 7 hour with the edit and the export. So please bear with me. Stuff are coming. On preset, you can tweak the file and resave. Yes, definitely. You can take that as a basic, load your file, but I think what I will do is I would create some file and call them like vocal SM58, guitar SM57, and so on. Like keyboard DI. What's up? Hey, Hedman. How's it going, man? To all my wing friend. Everybody say hi to Hedman. He's a really cool dude. And one of the member. If you want to support me in what I do, and try to become a member. I would appreciate that. It show support from people in the community, and it's giving me a couple pennies so I can keep getting some coffee every morning to go on with my day. Okay, I'm gonna try to speed up the chat here. Have you seen Patrick's Gilles Maillot Wing Automate apps? Looks pretty cool, but not sure how you would even load it. I need to do some work on that. Patrick, send me the file. Send me the program. I just need to install it on Windows, and I'm a Mac guy, so all my stuff is over on Mac. I have Windows on my computer in boot camp, and on my big Hackintosh, the one that I'm using for this live stream, I'm using Windows all the time. But the thing is, I'm just been busy, and this is not something I could just turn on, plug and play, or maybe it is, and I just don't know. But yes, Patrick did send me some of his software. I want to dive into them. I want to do a review because I think he's doing a great job with those software, and nobody is hearing about it. Not because there's anything wrong with it. It's just that nobody's gonna review that other than me. And him. He's pushing his software himself, but I want to do a review and I want to explain what his software are doing because I think he deserves it. So expect something in the future about that. Okay, I want to try to go fast. Essentially, usually me on stage setting monitor level input, then it's go time. Yeah, pretty much. Welcome to Festival World. iPad in hand on stage. Yeah, I done that. Just do the gain and wish you have a mix soon. Adam, don't worry, mate. We're all busy. Thank you. Thanks for your understanding. I really appreciate it. For Michael, do you know if there's a way to set a fader? To set up fader for a send for a specific channel. I'd love to have reverb send for one of my vocal. Like if you were to have press send on fader. So I know you can do it. You can do an aux send over a knob. If I go here in view, hold on, I need to switch the camera. If I go here in view, and you can select a fader send, DCA fader, send to bus send, fixed bus send. Okay, there we go. Let's say my fake snare bottom, I could send it into my plate, whatever. That knob would now do that for me. You can't see it, but I have a dB level indicating that. But could you do that on a fader and have it like a custom fader on the console? Really interesting. I would definitely see why, but hold on. let me take a look at the custom stuff. Assign. Could I? Oh, I didn't know that one. This is cool. You can select multiple and send it to your... I didn't know that. Okay, we learn every day. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of all of these. Could I... This is the MIDI part, I know. Herman, they did an undo button, but they press undo and it disappeared. I know. Somebody today on Facebook request to have a EQ reset button. I can see why. Even myself, when I want to reset an EQ, I just go. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna take a empty channel here. When you have your EQ, something like this, you know, those beautiful EQ that let your vocal signal go through, something like that. And it will be nice to have a reset button here, but instead I just change the EQ back to something else and it's just resetting. But yeah, this is UI stuff that should be there and it's still missing. But the console is usable, so it's just not user-friendly. I get it. Hey, Michael. Okay, I'm gonna read the super chat then. Thanks in advance for looking at my DCA solo thing, and here's for today's coffee. Thank you very much. We appreciate your expertise. I appreciate the fact that you guys are watching this. Thank you very much. I never thought it would be possible for me to start a YouTube channel about a single console and make it so it bring me some kind of people watching every day and pocket change on the side. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate that. Okay, hold on, Adam. You got a good one here. Yes, it's possible on user fader. Selects which bus you're sending to and then the channel you're sending. Okay, hold on. I want to try that. I need to try that. Okay. Select the bus that you're sending into. So, bus 15. And then I go... This? Can I do, like, I'm holding it down. Can I do this? No. That's just going to be my bus 16. That's not going to be send to bus. Or am I missing something here? Bus NFX1. Oops. My bad. Hold on. Adam, you're onto something, man. Okay, let me read the other message quickly. Thank you, Ozzy. Really appreciate the fact that you take time in watching, and I hope I help people. Greg, have you ever had the chance to A/B the wing against the Pro 2? Well, not on the same show. I'm just gonna say I've spent a couple 2 weeks ago on a Pro 2. Did 6 band in 3 nights on the Pro 2, and it reminded me why the Pro 2 worked so much. And actually, I know why, and I can explain it. The Pro 2 has the Midas time or delay compensation thing that is not on most other console. It's not on the Wing. It's not anywhere. Basically, what the Pro 2 do that is not on the Wing is it take the channel that has the most latency. So let's say that on a certain channel you have EQ, compression, insert stuff. It take that channel, it measure the latency. So let's say that you are adding 5 milliseconds of processing in the signal chain, and it just automatically delayed all the other channel. So everything is still back in phase. Of course, it's gonna make some latency in the main out. Usually this is not a problem because having some latency on your main out, a couple millisecond, 5, 10, it's not gonna change much as long as all your input are in phase with each other. And this is the secret that make the Midas fit so well, and also the fact that it will delay channel and align them so we don't have any missing bits in the signal chain. It's just the magic that make the Midas sound, the digital Midas sound that good. The analog, this is another story. But basically, it retime align everything, and it end up being not a problem at the summing bus like we used to have on M7CL, LS9. They did not delay compensate everything, and every time that on the clock a bit was not in time, it was getting bat out of the equation. On the back in the day on the Yamaha, I don't know if the CL and QL still work that way, but it used to be like that on the M7CL and LS9. They used to be good toy back in the day, and Midas said, okay, we got a problem with that, so how can we fix it? Is time delay in aligning everything. This is why those desks sound so good. I did DL251 with the Wing and the Pro 2. I get it why the Pro 2 worked way more than that, and it's just end up being the time compensation delay. I want to get my hand on the HD96. This is a project that I need to do something about. I'm maybe in the near future, as soon as we have the 96 Air out, I will look to get my hand on one as a demo, and after that as a purchase. Maybe I will switch. I know it will make a lot of people sad, but maybe I will switch from one console to another. Who knows? Depending on the availability, feature, and will I be comfortable just mixing on a screen. The form fact, the footprint of the HD96 Air is promising with the price and the fact that I already have a DL251. More on that in the near future. Ozzy, for a live stream setup, would you add a second wing and send out from there, or use Dente and put a feed in the mixing software? If you are on a budget and you don't want to operate it much, you just want to let it be a live stream, I would say a software is more than okay. USB out of the console will work just fine. In case of adding a second wing or X32 or another console that has Dente or AS50 to communicate with your wing, you're gonna get dry signal and remix that for stream anyway. So at that point, it's really up to you. Can you ask all your subscribers to start sending email bearing you're asking them to sponsor you just an ID for the HD96? Well, there you go, guys. This one is coming from Herman. I'm gonna say the same joke that I've been saying for the last year. I'm still waiting on my T-shirt. I would wear a Behringer T-shirt of the Wing or a Behringer T-shirt, period, if they send me one. But so far, I've been totally independent. I have no monetary compensation for anything that I do from Behringer. The only thing that I have is I got some email and people that I can talk to if I have an idea, but I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people and programmer and people from the industry that can talk with the developer of the Wing. So I'm just one of the few. Maybe I'm the one who's doing the most publicity for their console, but yeah. If anybody is want to contact the people over at Music Tribe and say that I should get an HD96 Air, send it over. I will pay shipping even. Or if I can work a better deal than dealer price, I would. In exchange of some video on the 96 Air, I don't mind covering. Actually, if they send it over, I will do the list of video that they want me to do. Not that I will sell my soul for my opinion. Meaning, I will not sell my soul for a console. But if they want me to do some how-to video on it, I can have a list and do something really professional there and spend some time. Actually, getting a console from that will justify me taking a week off and just doing video and having a friend over doing the camera instead of me just running from computer to anywhere and do it myself. That's an option. I would love to do that. Let me take a look at what we got going. I'm looking more video on Dante card recently bought, and it's not working with the M1. It sucks. Oh, really? It doesn't work with M1? Why? Is it Dante? Dante that don't have any software that is working with M1? And even then, Rosetta cannot run virtual sound card? Let me know, man. Interesting. I was about to switch to the Mac Studio last week, and I decided to wait for the review and maybe a refurbished one from the App Store, and so far I would say I think I did the right move to wait. It's not the new M1 Mac Studio are not as promising as they were in the keynote. Let me get down to what we have. Okay, Adam. Hold on. Okay, guys, you totally lost me there, and I want to know how to do this. Adam and Michael, I'm back on you. How do you guys do this? You need to select. Hold on. After selecting the bus, so I'm gonna, is it here in bus or selecting a bus? Let's say I'm selecting bus 15, which is my effect. I just don't understand the mechanic here. From there, selecting a bus. Is it there? Okay. Oh, it's in there. I can, oh yeah, you can do that. Okay, hold on. Sorry for the camera angle, guys. If you select, yeah, okay. I'm gonna recap that for those of you who follow. If you want to have a send to a bus on a fader on a custom layer. Right now, my console is in custom layer 1, user 1. If you want to have, because I don't have any vocal here, I'm gonna use my snare. I can select my snare. Actually, no. My snare here. You can select in the bus the send for that bus. So my reverb is in 15. I can take channel 2, send into 15. I don't know if it's clear on the screen or not. And put that here. Now I have a fader on the console. Or actually, I should put it here. Now I have a fader here. I would need to put it here so you guys can see it. Saw that moving? On the display itself, on the LCD display, it says send on fader SOF channel 2 into bus 15. That could be used for a lot of things. If you're a monitor guy and you want to have your lead singer into his ear always on the console, you can put that on the right section, like, this is my lead singer vocal. He wants, the kind of, there's two kind of vocalists. The one that's just going to do whatever you send to him, and there's some other one that will just, want his vocal up, down, all night. If you have one of those guys, you can just create yourself a bus. But wow, I'm going to do that for delay on my vocal, because this is something that I do a lot during show, is subtle effect of delay and reverb send all the time from my lead vocal. I play around with the vocal and effect, basically. But wow, this is cool. So, for those of you who want to follow the mechanic here, you have your option for your custom control, your bus, your DCA, and then you can have this. And what are the effects here? You can basically have all the control you want on the console. I can have this. Can I have this? It's the effect on or off with a switch. So at 50%, it's bad that you cannot see, but at 50% my effects is turning on or off with the fact that I'm moving a fader. So, wow. And you can also have MIDI channel. So if you want to have MIDI CC, I can do MIDI CC from that interface. That's just open up a lot of possibility in my mind here. Thank you very much, Michael, and especially Adam, for pointing that out. I always saw those control, but never saw a use for it, or didn't know what it was and what the particular use case could be. But the fact that you have all the MIDI channel that you can send, you can remote control with this. So if you are using a DAW that is not listed into the list, you could create yourself some MIDI fader and probably some assigned to, and just create yourself some fader for a DAW or for a lighting console. Basically, you're sending out MIDI CC, so it could be anything else that you have on the other end that can understand those commands. As long as you map them out correctly, that will work. Okay, I didn't know that one. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. Thank you. I thought I was here to teach, but I'll be honest with you guys. I'm learning more in these videos that you guys do. You bring, I've been doing the same thing for a year. I have my little bit of recipe, I must admit, of doing the same band all the time. I know my band. I know that PA. I know that room. Mixing the same band in the same room and so on. You guys just throw me stuff that would not come from me, and I appreciate that so much. Just opening up my mind. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I only have one more question, and this is probably for Adam. I'm the one asking question now. What is this S here? It's selected, I'm gonna guess. Is it? If I select base and I go custom layer, if I go here, is it gonna show me base? No. That little S here in the bottom now is just giving me kick into bus 1, but I would not know why. If I'm doing this, is going to be kick into bus 16, yes. But why? My question is more why kick and what would be the meaning of that S? Adam, you have no idea. I thought you know what you were talking about, dude. Come on. Wow. Okay. Just gonna catch up with the chat real quick. Now that we learned today. Thank you, Adam, for your brilliant explanation. I didn't know that one. Not ashamed to admit that. Since you can comment if you are a beta software. Well, actually, I always said that I have access to the release version of the software in advance. But I'm getting, basically when it's ready, it end up on a couple people's desk, and I can try it. But I don't think I'm breaking any contract by saying that I have access to those files. I cannot share them with you, but I think I can be open about that. Are you at least excited about upcoming change? They still commit to it. Yes, I know there's some work in progress. Nothing that reach that far down the line for me yet. I know I heard a couple things, but it's just rumor from a friend of a friend there. But there's some stuff coming. Trust me, I'm going to repeat that again for those of you who don't know. The current chip shortage and the fact that the audio chip maker in China burned down affect the company a lot. And they just try to keep up with what's going on, redesigning most of their product. I've said that many times on the live stream. And the company need to still be alive if we want to have firmware update. So they just concentrate their effort on getting the product out, redesigning all the product, test them, make sure that they work. And when I say product, I'm talking about everything that makes sound. So I think most of the synthesizer stuff is made in-house because Behringer is simply making chip that were not made anymore. But anything that was designed around chip that were publicly available for every company, the headphone amplifiers, small console, and everything, they have to redesign that. They have to redesign all that stuff to fit the competitor, the company that burned down in China, so they can have some product on the shelf. Because this is probably the problem. The biggest problem now is every company is struggling to get product on the shelf, and that's not only Behringer. All the audio company are affected by that. Maybe some of the guys that were using exotic chip are not affected. So maybe the RME and the IN audio interface guys, we're talking about interface that were the price of the console. Maybe they are not affected because it was probably Texas Instrument chip instead of, I don't know the name of the company that burned down, but you get the big picture. So yeah, all that to say, stuff is coming. Pandemic and other thing have slowed down the world in something that we never seen before, especially since the information travels so fast now. and people travel so fast now, and everything goes so fast. Now that we have a bump in the road, we're like, oh, what's going on, man? This is what's going on. It's going to come out soon. Tobias, member. Hey, I think you're a new member. I don't remember seeing you, seeing your name on the list, Tobias. Thank you very much for being a member. Really appreciate it. Regarding the sound level, go back to the fader sign and select the, yeah, on the top. I got it. Thank you very much. This is how far behind I am in the chat. I'm 5 minutes behind. Okay, you guys just tell me. Michael, again. It's fun to have you around, Michael. You got some interesting question and I like that. Do you use the channel strip effects all in one, or do you plug them in individual? The channels. Okay, what do you mean by channel strip effects? There's two times. When we say effect, we're usually talking about time-based effect, like reverb, like delay, like chorus and stuff. Dynamic and processing is what people sometimes refer to as effect, but it's not the same thing. They are made to be run in line, not parallel. But running some effect in parallel, sometimes it's better. Compression in parallel is not fun, other than if you want to use it as parallel compression and make that distorted sound and blending it in. But most of the time, when you have a compressor, you want it to be in line. Not the same thing for reverb. Reverbs most of the time want to be used in parallel. You don't want your snare or your vocal to be 100% wet. So we can play on the word here, but let's say if I were to run out of bus and I really wanted to have a snare reverb, I would set it up. I think this is what I got actually on the snare here. No, it's a mastering one, but I'm gonna give you a small example of what I would do if. Okay, I'm in the wrong block. Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna put some delay on my snare. No joke. I'm just gonna go vintage room here. If I were to put a reverb just for my snare, I would do it like this on an insert. So I would put it into the second insert because that would be post fader. That way when I turn the snare down or up, the amount of reverb will follow, and that will set the amount of reverb with the FX mix. This is an inline use of a effect, but you don't want it to be at 100% ever. Thank you, Craig. Loving my sincerity. I just try to be honest here. Nothing to hide. Andy, I just joined the video. I see now the page your friend asked for the mix level control. I reply that you can do this already from putting the effects to the fader. He-Man Jr. Hello, Hal. Hello, He-Man. Welcome. Welcome back. I know you've been a regular here. They all have one in effects now from bus channel mastering, which include many effect versus putting them in separate. Oh, okay. You're talking about in the effect rack. I'm just gonna go here. The channel effect, all effects. They are a combination of multiple effects together. So this is what I had on my snare. I'm gonna go back here and change that to there you go, mastering one. These are off by default. Even when you turn that on, all the effects in here are off. You need to turn them on so something happen. but they... Oh, did my camera just die? Oh no. Okay, we're gonna give it a couple minute break. And I'm gonna show you guys this while we're at it. Sorry, I was up an hour before the stream today, and I probably left it on, so it was probably on for a couple hours. But we're gonna let it charge for a couple minutes, and I'll be back. That'll give me time to explain what's going on with these type of effect. I understand them way better since I did my video from the release of this firmware about them. So by default, they are all off. They are a really good tool to use, but I would say those effects could be a problem if you are using them in any other effect that the slot 2 right there. The reason being, hold on, why my camera is so dark? Some technical difficulties here. Keep following along. Sorry if it's really, really dark. I don't know why. It should be a little brighter, but I think you guys can see really well, or from judging from what I see on my iPad, you guys can follow. The problem is with those effects is they introduce latency. It's a lot of processing together, and they introduce latency. If you were to put this as a first effect block on a chain, let's say that you're doing this, you put the insert here first, you select this, it will add a lot of latency, audible latency, if you turn everything on. If you were to turn this on, is this already on? Is the limiter on? I would not know. The enhancer is not on. If you were to turn them all on with the channel strip on, you will have 4, 5, sometimes even 6 milliseconds of latency. It's not much, but if I were to put this on my vocal, it will be just enough so I will feel like I'm speaking slow. If you ever had that feeling happen in your headphone. So I would not recommend you using them on the channel strip before the tap point. After that, if you want to use them to have a lot of processing on an input, yes, it's an option. This is why they were designed. But like example, the mastering one was designed to be on the mastering on a bus. The other one were designed to be channel strip of a console. Like this is pretty much Neve compressor. This is Soul Channel. It's basically an SSL. So SSL gate, SSL EQ, SSL compressor. The vintage channel, 1176, a classic compressor. The Pultec EQ copy here, and the LA2A. I don't usually use them in that order, but that could work for some people. Bus channel, so we have warm, the distortion, so that's Neve again. I think the Soul warm is the SSL. So SSL preamp distortion, because this is made to be a color distortion box, not really a preamp thing. EQ, Neve EQ, and the dynamic is the Soul G bus. Some people will use that on the Soul G bus for sure. On the main out, so just give it some grit, add some distortion, add some harmonic, EQ it out just a little bit, and compressing it before sending it into a limiter. Let me catch up with the chat. What's going on? Hi, sorry, you can see me here. You guys can see me here. Hi. Yeah, that's the one you were talking about. And okay, are you better using these instead of the one on the strip? No, because the one on the strip are latency compensated, and they will not introduce latency because it's less processing to have all these separate block instead of having all of those in one blockchain. This is adding. This one is adding 3 effects blocks, so it's adding the latency of these 3 effects plus what you already have in there. So that's a lot of latency compensation that has to be dealt with because the console cannot allow you to have glitch. So it just increased the latency of that channel or the overall latency, so it has time to process what's going on. So this is not ideal before the tap point for a musician to hear. On the main out, if you run out of effect here and you still need to process that, just make sure that whatever you do, your tap point is before using one of these blocks. You can, if you really want to, you can change your signal chain. Let's say that you want your gate, EQ, and compressor to be heard by the musician. You change your tap point on that channel to be here. You use on the first insert the multi effects channel or the multi or the block or the channel strip. I don't know how to call them. Use that there after the tap point, and it should be fine. But just be aware that it will put some latency. This is what I heard the first time that I tried them. And it will totally mess with the brain of a singer or a bass player or a guitar player trying to play an instrument with that on. Just keep that in mind. Okay, catching up with the chat again. Could you make a video on setting up everything on the wing from start to finish, as if you show, as if you had a show that next week? I know it might be a long video, but I promise I'll watch it a trillion time. Well, actually, I did a live stream. Is it Wednesday? Where I set up pretty much a show, not from scratch, but I did that. That's interesting because they're all off by default. Yeah, because they will add latency. So you can. The reason they are all off is because you want to turn them one by one. If they were all on by default, it will be a lot of processing to apply with one knob on a track. If you were to have that during a sound check, it will probably do some stuff that you don't want to do. So the idea is to having it here, turn something on, tweak it, turn something on, tweak it, turn something on, tweak it, other than just go like boom and who knows what's gonna happen. Especially with the distortion here. If by accident you got that on a vocal and you were about to use your bass preset with a lot of distortion, something like this, that will feedback pretty much immediately, even in the PA, if you were to have this like cranked, by example. So try to, one by one is a good option here. I like that. I think it should stay that way. Thinking about the Mafia Gaming comment. Yeah, maybe I can do a video where I just show everything from start to finish, building a show. But I don't know if I will do it just for fun. Maybe the next time I have to build a show. Actually, you know what? Next week, I have to build a show on the wing, and I'm gonna build it for the TV recording show that I will be doing on March 31st. I think I could build myself some preset, some EQ, and I will go through the patch of what we got. I got something like 30... I'm gonna try to open that camera again. I have something like 32 input. Oh, I'm back. Yeah, 32 input plus in-ear mixes, at least 7 of those. Wireless, guest wireless, a band. It's a country band, so I'll have drum, bass, one guitar, probably in stereo with an aux box. Violin, 1 and 2, 2 violin. Everybody has a back vocal. And I have some lead singer with guest. And I'm doing in-ear and recording at the same time for everybody. So, thank you for being around, Michael. Have a great day. And hit me up over email if you got any more question. You, yeah, just hit me up over email if anything. Will be my pleasure. So keep the tap point before the plugin if the artist want clean vocal. No, it's not really of having clean vocal. It's induction of it's introducing latency in the signal. You know that it's hard to describe. You know that slapback effect, like if you hear yourself with a delay on your vocal. Just try it at home. Take a channel strip, like this is my talkback. Just for fun, I'm gonna turn on the delay, and I'm gonna put 5 milliseconds. To me, right now, it sounds like I'm in a doubler. If it probably didn't change anything to you guys, but to me, because I'm hearing myself in real time, and I'm hearing myself in the headphone with latency, it just sounds like a doubler. I sound like Ozzy, and I can show it just for fun. I'm gonna copy my channel to 39, my talkback from 40 to 39, and I'm gonna take delay off, so you probably will hear it with a bit of latency. No, you don't hear it because the preamp didn't follow. Why doesn't want to? Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna do that on another channel. Tool, copy this into this one. Copy. Channel mistype, don't want to let me do it. Okay, copy to this one, copy. Okay. Do I have to assign the preamp? I will do it. Local in, there we go. So now I can hear myself like that. That's no delay. No delay. Absolutely no delay. And if I'm bringing this one on, this is just 5 milliseconds. This is my dry vocal and a vocal with latency on it of 5 milliseconds. And it just sounds weird. No, actually, it's 5 meters, more than millisecond. I'm just going to go 5 milliseconds. Here we go. That's weird. Yeah. This is how you're going to hear yourself with a 5 millisecond delay. So if you have, I'm just going to turn that off. If you have that on, as a performer, it's a total throw off. So just be careful when using that. Okay. Any more question, guy? We almost hit the hour and a half mark here. I just want to keep these live entertaining for the people who watch in playback. Thank you very much if you're watching this in playback. I know I had the discussion this morning with my friend Dennis in London, and he said that I'm streaming at a bad time. And I'm sorry, there is no good time for me to stream because right now in North America, it's the afternoon. People complain that they are at work. In Europe, you guys complain that it's too early, you're not home yet, or it's too late because it's dinner time or it's bedtime. So I'm really sorry. I cannot please everybody. I wish maybe in a couple months, when actually around the holidays, at the end of December, beginning of January, usually I have time and I could do a stream even if it's nighttime for me. I don't mind, or waking up at 4 in the morning, or still being up and do a stream at 4 in the morning for you guys in Australia. I could do something like that because the clock is it's always noon somewhere in the world. So if I could, for one time, once a year, do a stream at a time that suit you, let me know in the comment. I don't mind doing that. What if you can think about that in that video? What are we talking about here, Mafia? Sorry, man. I'm out of context here. Your times are great. Stay. Really appreciate that. Do you have the Dente card? Install the card in the module. Yes, you can see it right there. Oh, hold on. There we go. Switching the view. Right now, my W Live card is out, and the Dente card is in, so I don't have any SD icon here. I have the Dente logo, meaning that the expansion card is Dente. I don't have anything in the module inside the console. That may change in the future, but who knows? Let's say that I'm experimenting with some stuff, and I hope I don't destroy any Dente card in the process. We'll see. Question here from Eamon Jr. How do you balance kick drum and bass fighting for low end? Do you give priority to one over the other? I would say yes. I usually give most of the low end to the bass drum. Let me give you an example. Here I have a typical kick. This is leftover from a session. I did not work on this. I'm just going to put that trim back to 0 where it belongs. Thank you very much. I usually try to have my kick sitting around 50, 45 to 55. This is where I like my kick sound to be physically pushing air against your chest during a live show. And most of the time, subwoofer don't allow me to go for below 45. If they allow me to go 45, sometimes I push it like all the way to 30. I like my bass drum to be physical, and it's funny because I had that conversation this week with a gentleman who toured around the world. In North America, we pretty much don't have any dB limitations, so I've whipped people with 110 dB of 40 hertz many times in my life. Yeah, they just let us do it here. So, this is what I like to do. It also work on a lower level setup, but I tried to push my bass drum in that area for the low end, and I put a low cut on my bass. Usually, I start around 60 hertz, so I let the bass drum live in the low end of the sub, and I'm moving my low cut on the bass between, I don't know, 80. Sometimes I go as high as 90, and I just drop it down to 60 if I have enough sub power. But bass guitar don't live that low in the range. You can set it to 90 and it will still go in the subs, but you will have more definition, less low end, and you can open up slowly in the low end to make your sub work. But usually what I do is let the bass drum take care of the power in the sub. Give just enough low cut, or for your side, just enough low cut on the bass so it rumble in the sub, but you still have definition of the note. It's just that, brown sound. So that's my way. You control camera with your wing. Yes, I'm using MIDI command on my wing. This is my setup. I don't know how in focus that is, but I have my button here that says intro and live, meaning that this is for me to go live on YouTube from OBS. I just push it, it runs the intro. All that is happening in OBS, but I control the trigger button is on the console. So live, this is my talking, this is my console view. I just switch between the two. Tech problem is not a scene in my OBS right now, and out and stop also is when the stream is done. I just push that button and it goes. I also have my music on and off if I'm doing some stuff with the console and I don't want any background sound. I can just cut it out. I have some background music now. I don't have any background music. And I can bring it back on. So it's just muting in the software. This is just remote control. This has nothing to do with a specific software. Inside OBS, I have a plugin that hear the MIDI command and transform it into an action. This is how I change camera into OBS just by sending out MIDI command into OBS. And with a MIDI plugin inside OBS, I control my scene change and all the action that I showed you. Let me read that. Is it possible to use external effect? Thinking about buying a WAM myself with a Dente module and use 48 channel external auto mixer. Yeah, I don't. I would say maybe. I don't know how much. I don't know a lot about your setup. Maybe that will work. It's not like, external hardware compressor. If you want to use external hardware compressor on the wing, we have stuff for that. In the effect rack, we can take an effect. Hold on. Whoa, what's up? What's happening here? Effect. We have the external insert effect. This is made so you can patch your mono or stereo or effect in there. And I don't want any latency because you can have some latency compensation in there. We absolutely don't want to have that here. But you can, in the patch, assign your physical in and out to an external effect. And this is currently inserted into my bass channel effect, channel insert 2. So this is the plugin that is designed to take your physical input and output to plug external gear on that. You only have 16 of those available if you don't want to use anything else because they take up rack space. Another way to work around that would be to have something in between your effects, but 48 channel of effects, I mean, you can probably do something with the USB, having your, actually this is something that I've done. You take your wing, you set the gain, you send your channel out to USB, just a preamp, you just patch the preamp out to USB, and you process some stuff in your computer, and you set your console to have all the input as USB. That could work. Can you do that over Dante? Probably. I think the routing makes sense in my head to do that. Can you there's many way to think about this, but yeah, I think that will work. But it's interesting for me. A 48 channel auto mixer. I never saw that before. Who knows? Drew Brasher just released a video a couple hours ago setting up a mixer from scratch. Yeah, I saw that video. I actually saw the thumbnail. I didn't watch the video, but yeah. There's also MXU who did a mix under an hour if you want to watch that, Gaming Mafia. I'm basically late to the game in this one. They are all late on the coverage of my stuff, of all the little tweaks, but they covered that before I did. Herman, have you found any good applications so far for the channel strip section of the knob on the right corner? You mean the knobs that I never use there? Is that answering your question? No. Okay. Get me here. That would be good if I were to set up my main out stuff here as dedicated channel strip for what we call money channel. Let's say that you have singers and you always want to have your singer next to you, so you take that section. Damn it, my camera just died. Okay, I'm gonna think about something. You take that section right here, which is my main, my physical main, and you do a custom user, and you set in your custom user here some channel that you always want to have on end. I think this is the purpose why that section was designed. By default, it's defaulting to the bus, but you could have, let's say, your bass drum. Let's say you have your electric guitar in there. Let's say that you have a keyboard, and I'm going to use here my sub kick trigger. Just imagine this is my lead vocal. If I were to do that, all the knobs on top of the console that you can't see right there because my camera just died, and I'm gonna turn it off a couple more minutes so I can at least say bye to you with a camera on. If I were to do this, that would give me quick access to all the features that we have on top. Because I cannot show you, I'm gonna name them. We have 48 volt, we have gate, compressor, filter, F1, 2, 3, which can be assigned to other stuff, and main pan. If those channel that you custom set up here, if you want to access those channel quickly and do a lot of stuff to them quickly, I would do that. It's the same thing also for the section next to the screen, where it's basically the overall. Well, actually, I'm going to show it to you. Can I? No, there's no display for that. But the section, the channel strip in detail section, I never touched that ever, other than adding 48 volt by holding the input knob. But to me, that's not being used. Let's just be honest here. That whole section right there of the console to me is not being used. Do you guys have any other question about the console that I can show you? Because my camera just died. Sorry. I feel so unprofessional. By the way, the video overlay looks really cool with the LED around the edge. Oh, thank you. You mean the one that I cannot see right there? Okay. I think that will work with the routing, Martin. Yes, I think it will too. In the routing section, when you think about it, you can pretty much patch anything anywhere, just for fun. This is my USB out. Right now I have my main out so I can talk to you, but you can set any of these input there. So if you have a Dente card external like I do, you can do that here. You can patch that to your USB. It could be AES. And from the source, if you were to have preamp in there, you can set the gain. You can't see it much because of my dead camera screen right now, but you can set the gain for all your inputs. So if you really want, you can take an AS50 stage box, set your gain right there. Take that into USB. No, wrong menu here. Take that into USB, send it out to a computer, apply some processing. Could be wave, could be whatever. And on your channel strip here, you can set all these to be USB return from your computer or from Dente, and that will work. You would have basically insert another module or a computer in between your AS50 stage box and your console, because the console doesn't do any difference if it's a USB input or any of these. That would work. One thing I can never seem to find, Wing Live playback, jogging transport control, fast forward function. Oh, can you do that? Could we? Hold on. I don't have any. Oh, I am sorry. I don't have any option for that. Maybe in the USB I can. No, I don't have anything plugged in right now. I cannot check it out. But I don't. I think you just need to scroll with your finger down the app here, and same for the USB. I don't think it's working any other way. That's a really good question. Same question about tags. Any good for anything? Well, actually, the tag. This is where you set up your DCA, your mute group, and your talk on. I'm not gonna go in the talk back section for that for the tag, but let's say if you were to have multiple mute group, you can add them here in the tag. This is what the tag are designed for. Kinda like VCA if they ever, or pop group if they ever get implemented. Pop group. Anybody's watching. This section here in the custom control could be really fun to have user pop group if we're looking for a way to implement those in the console. Just future proof that would be a really good option if anybody is listening. Having 8 pop group, I think, or VCA or DCA option would be a good idea. Or actually, I'm thinking out loud. Let's go in the second layer here. Can I have a DCA? Can I set up a change page to DCA? DCA mute. Okay, you can have DCA mute group. Okay, so I'm gonna expect pub group to one day appear here as an option, because I think that will be the best way to put them in the console, because people are complaining about not having pub group option. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Okay, question to all of you. So I'm asking this one for Herman, not just me. Anybody knows how to set high pass filter from the Wing app? I just can't figure it out. I'm not using the Wing app, Herman. You will have to rely on people for this one. One more question. Can you show the custom assign button, like the option that you have? Is there a next scene button or something? No. No. It's coming. I know. Oh. I just realized fader start is an option that I didn't know we have. GPIO other. No. As we speak, the scene change, the scene control is not yet to the point where they want it to be in the console. I don't want to put word in the mouth of anybody, but a lot of people request show control, and when you have the show control button on the custom control, and it just does nothing. It doesn't show anything. Even when I just click on it, and it doesn't do anything. It's gonna come out really soon, or I think I can say they're working on it. They want to work on it. They want to make it something that is way bigger than what it is. What I'm talking about is the library function. Now we can save a show file. We can save a show file and just being that, but I'm gonna expect some work's gonna be done in this area of the console. I'm pretty sure. We have some space here on the top. They can have some stuff, or we can just do scene next to one, or we could have folder of scene. Expect some change in the future regarding show control soon. And when I say soon, I would say don't hold your breath, but eventually it will come. Okay, sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. Hendy says the good. It's not possible hardware based because it's an MP3. You have to stop scrolling and play again. Oh, really? Because in the virtual sound check, I know that you can actually on the USB you can play around with your finger and move it around, set marker, and loop it back. So I thought you could play around with the jog wheel. I thought this was implemented in the console. What is the definitive wing reference source? Official documentations should be thin, or am I missing where to find the best manual? The best console manual right now is my channel. I'm sorry to say that, but this is true. I'm probably the one and only guy on YouTube who covered that much of the console. And I try to cover a lot of the small detail, like how to copy paste, how to initialize the console, all those basic action video, because there is none. And I can explain why there's none. Eventually, they will have something for sure. But the console is still evolving so much that if they add a release manual or manual 101, it would not be good anymore, and it will need to be rewritten every firmware update. And I hope we can have more firmware update and less manual in the future, because it takes somebody to write those manual down and to do the firmware update, and I'd rather they work on the firmware update. Let's hope so. Really need show control. Yes. Your updates are... You can jog around, but not with listening at the same time, like a CD player. Yeah. Exactly. You can move it around, but not listening at the same time when you're scrolling. So that will be through for that. I was about to say any more question, but I think my camera is telling me that I should go have another coffee. Thanks for all the replies. Really informative channel. Thank you very much for watching. Seriously, I'm going to come back here, and I hope my camera's going to turn on. Yes, it does. Hi. Back. Don't worry. Don't give up, guys. This console is still a work in progress. with everything that happened, I think I can say that without being demonetized on YouTube, the shitstorm that hit the world is almost over. Here in Canada, it's almost over. Things are going well. Let people try to gain the 2 year that we missed and put them back in that console. That console is 2 year behind because of that. Human, whatever happened since March 2020, the sad stuff that's happening in the world right now that should not be happening, all that affect what's going on with the hardware and the physicality of stuff that we're having in our hand. And that's true for computers, sound, everything. So I know it's bad. Just don't give up, guys. We're almost at the end of the tunnel. Don't give up. That console is almost at the end of the tunnel. It's going to soon be out there, and it's going to become greater and greater and greater with the gear. I mean, even the X32 still get update. So just to give you an idea how we should not lose hope, almost 10 years after it's been out, the X32 still have firmware update for new implementation. So don't give up. Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on. What did I miss, Herman? What did you ask? Am I not seeing some comments? Hold on. Okay. Not important. You guys are giving out each other's tricks, which is good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andy, for give something to Herman. Really appreciate that. On that note, I'm feeling a bit tired. I think I'm gonna go get some rest. I spent a lot of time in front of the camera today. Until next week, please take care of yourself, guys. I'm serious when I say this. Take care of yourself. I would like to see you all in good shape next week, same time, same studio. More on that in near future too. Who knows? Till the next one, please take care of yourself. Again, I don't mind repeating that. Take care of yourself. If you are not yet a subscriber of the channel and you make it this far, subscribe. I think if you survive that, you're going to enjoy what we're doing here. If you are with me and still didn't click the like button, I only see 1 like as of now. I'm pretty sure you guys can help me change that up to at least 10. Like that video if you're watching this in playback. If you're watching in playback, leave me a comment. I really appreciate the fact that you take some time out of your day to watch this after we're done here. Now, again, take care of yourself, and I see you guys later.